football advice today to help you win your leagues tomorrow. On today's episode, we have our Dynasty show. That is going to be what you should sell or obtain for these older running backs that are either on their final year of their rookie contract or on their second year. And as well, we will have the Wheel of Misfortune where one of us has to eat a nasty food, including our co-host, Cebastian, who will be on in just a minute.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Now, Seb has to take a shot of dry food, wet food.
This is what it's venison flavored. This looks like salami that got STDs. All right. Well, that is a meaty smoothie.
We know we said we'd add water, but the vodka blended so well into this, he won't be able to smell it or know until after he takes it.
So, bon appetit.
All right, Seb, bottoms up and take your shot. Oh, you have the worm beef.
I've also been nauseous all day. If I didn't already say that to the audience.
Get it. All of it. Come on. Oh no, that's just a sip. Finish her. You don't want to taste. You don't want to.
It's pretty good, guys. I just gagged. I swallowed down the wrong pipe.
Come on!
I can't. It's the texture of trying to swallow.
No,
why didn't you just make it food so I could spoon it?
There you go. Look at this good old spoon.
What I meant by a spoon is it's barely any different.
Come on, pour the whole thing in there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go partially.
Oh, there it is. There it is, halfway. Adding the vodka to that probably did.
I told you added vodka.
So on this week's episode, we have the over-under for Deontay Johnson. I took the over against the Colts at 49.5. I just think he's such a safe reception guy. Yes, he's only hit that once in 2 weeks, and he's only had over 5 targets once in the past 3 weeks. But I'm taking the over on this. Now, this isn't one I'm betting on. I'll be honest. The Monday night games, they're pretty good, for the over-unders there. I don't feel too confident about it. But we got to do this, and I am taking the over on Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually not the worst call in the world. Deontay Johnson is being hyper-targeted. The only thing is he's not actually working with those targets. He's not giving much production. He's been really a fantasy disappointment. So the targets are going to be there. It's going to be a matter of if he is going to produce with those targets, which lately he has not.
All right, now it's time. Wheel of Misfortune!
So far, who's ever spanned the wheel is the one that gets to eat the food.
Oh! We got the deadly fish eyeball. We are going to have a shot glass full of fish eyeballs for the loser.
Yep.
So please, Deontay, do me a solid and get over 50 yards. So I know you guys, just like myself, are wondering, if I'm a competitor, what do I do to obtain a guy like Josh Jacobs, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, possibly even Aaron Jones to really give you that push to win the season? Or if you're on the other side of that, saying you have one of those guys, and what should you sell them for a reasonable value this time of the year where their value is spiked? On the start of this show, we're going to go over the rookies and exactly what their value is in a very short explanation to keep this show on time. Let's start with the 101 projected for rookie draft Superflex leagues. Still in Superflex leagues, you got Bijan Robinson coming in at 6 foot, 220 pounds. That's right. This guy has been a projected first round 101 pick since coming out of high school years ago. Now, as an early recruit, after coming out at just 3 years, this guy has shown nothing but he deserves to be the 101 even in super flex leagues. He's just been the most hyped running back since Saquon Barkley. I mean, that's right, since Saquon Barkley, who's broke records. This guy's coming in more talented and shown more than Jonathan Taylor or Breece Hall even showed. This is why this guy is a top 3 running back in Dynasty. The argument isn't close, and I love it because I know I will get down in the comments as usual. Well, he hasn't played a snap in the NFL. Why am I drafting him as a top 3 or treating him as a top 3 Dynasty running back? Well, last year I had Breece Hall in my top 5 as running back. Look what happened before the injury. Last year I had Kenneth Walker as a top 10 running back, and he hasn't had the injury, so look where he's at now. There's an argument to be made where Kenneth Walker is the overall number 1 Dynasty running back in the NFL. The running backs are a lot easier going through their portfolio and really seeing their value from that. This is why I had Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker so high coming in without playing an NFL snap. And it is the same thing for Bijan Robinson. He's all you want and more in a running back, and he's going to be a first-round draft pick for the NFL, and that just oversees most things. Now, at the 102 coming in is Bryce Young, quarterback. So he won the Heisman last year. The reason why he is the 1-1 over CJ Stroud, or 102 over CJ Stroud, is he does have a little bit more rushing upside as well. He just looks like an all-around great QB. So coming in at 103, we have CJ Stroud, as aforementioned. So he is 6'3", 218 pounds, has the arm talent, has great football IQ, and is a great pocket passer. Will as well be a top 10 NFL draft pick, just making him that much more easy to take in the fantasy world of drafts. He's a great QB. He just doesn't have the rushing upside we would like to see. You know, he's even a battle with Young for who should be the 102 overall. And then lastly, we have one of my favorite players coming out of this draft. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. He should be a mid to late first round pick, which is huge for a running back. I have Gibbs, in my top 8. I'm not pushing him farther down than that. Jahmyr Gibbs is an elite pass catching running back. He is elite at pass catching. You can scheme him out wherever you want. He's so versatile. It's amazing to see. The reason why, he's not farther up these rankings, he's a little undersized at 5'10". You'd like to see him gain about 15 pounds before the NFL Combine to really be that asset and that elite as a running back, but he's still a great player. So now that we went through the top 4 picks, none of those picks you should trade away to get any of these running backs, okay? You are ripping yourself off by getting one of these running backs on a second contract and then trading for them and trading away one of these top 4 picks where you're trading away a top 5 running back asset or a top 12 QB asset. I would like to expand that to the 1-5 because in the NFL draft at this point, we don't know what will happen until it happens. But you still have guys like the number 1 wide receiver in the class, Jordan Addison, who looks like the real deal. He's an early NFL declare. He's going to be a top 12 pick this year, and he is the safest pick amongst this entire draft. The guy looks elite at a wide receiver position, and he's a very safe pick. I wouldn't trade for any of these running backs to trade this guy away. The RBs this year just look ridiculous. There's such value on this RB class that we've known about for years coming. That is why you don't just trade away one of these aging assets for, the 1-1 to 1-9 to 1-8. You have guys like Sean Tucker. He had an over 17% target share. Yes, there wasn't many options for that QB. It wasn't an elite wide receiver core, and he was one of the early options, but he's still an elite prospect of a running back. And you have Michael Mayer. If you're in a tight end premium, he's like a Pat Freiermuth pleth. He's just looks the part, and he can be an elite tight end for future years. And you have guys like Tank Bigsby that can really push it. So none of these running backs I'm looking for if I have a top 7 pick, I'm not going to give any of the top 7 picks for any of these running backs. But if you can get a late, let's say if you're competing this year and you're like, I'm just a running back away. I'm one running back away from winning this title. Then yes, go get a guy like Josh Jacobs or, low end Joe Mixon, let's say, Dalvin Cook. Those are lower, and I'd rather have a Josh Jacobs who is a little bit younger. He's just a couple months older than Najee Harris. And I'd rather pick him up, than one of those two. But if you are competing, I see a reasonable value. Say, hey, I have the 1-8 to 112. I'm willing to give one of these away for Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook. I understand the value there. And I understand as if you're not competing, go out and try to get anywhere from the 102 to the 107. Try to go get any of these try to trade away any of these running backs right now while you still can before the end of the season, while people are really needing running backs this time of year and thinking, hey, I can compete. I just need one more running back. This is your chance to go and sell them. You'll probably get a lot more than just a late first round pick. You can probably pick up 2 seconds or a second on top of that. This is an easy sell. Even a Miles Sanders, I know he's about Josh Jacobs on this last year of his contract. But yeah, if you can go and get a late first for Miles Sanders, go do that. There's many running backs on that tier where you need to go sell if you're not competing this year, and go sell because this class is rich. Yes, it's not as deep at the wide receiver, but the first 12 to 14 picks are very valuable this year because you have a lot of QBs as well. I only mentioned 2 in this show, but there's 4 other QBs that could make their surgence into this, from the 1-4 to 110, where you are being able to not take that guy, but he takes the value of elite options and pushes them down the draft, pushes them down later in the draft. So this is where you need to go sell right now for one of those guys for a late first if you're not competing. And if you're competing, at the most, don't sell more than, the 109. Don't sell earlier than that to get one of these running backs. But if it's a 109 or later, this is a perfect opportunity to go and buy them for you as well as a competitor.
Like, comment, and subscribe.